Prior to needing dialysis, I worked as a substitute teacher in Howard County Public School Systems. I volunteered at Walter Reed, and I also helped in our local church with Catholic religious ed. I've been on dialysis about on and off for about I'd say 2.5 years or so. I started with hemo dialysis, and then ended up having a transplant. Well, actually, I had a transplant, then hemo, then transplant, then hemo, then PD. So it's been kind of a long road. I started out with hemodialysis after my first transplant failed. I had hemo in the hospital, and I needed to hook up with a local dialysis center. And my nephrologist actually recommended the facility that he works with, Home Dialysis of America. And truly, it was a godsend for me. It was the transition from having to do something that I'd never done before, going to a place that they were very welcoming and very, very, very helpful and very family oriented to me on how to get through that. So my dad's a physician, my brother's a physician, and I think just being kind of raised in that environment, and I actually have a background in science. I have a master's in secondary ed and biology, so I was going to actually teach, and worked in the research industry. So once I got sick, you kind of are your best advocate, so you end up learning a lot about your situation and your organs, and you're the best person to take care of what you need to for yourself. I think based on what him and my mom had gone through, he had recommended staying away from the in-center and doing, private dialysis, just because it's more one-on-one and you have more individualized attention. It was not something that was available to my mom. So I think for them at first, they had a lot of questions, but then realized how far technology had come that, 20 years prior, my mom had to go to this in-center and had to deal with, waiting her turn. And if she missed a spot, like she couldn't reschedule it. So it's like if you were there, you were there, and if you missed it, you missed it. But the flexibility and just having something, be in your house and work around you, and this be part of your life instead of dialysis being your life. It was really a game changer. I mean, I won't say that it wasn't hard going through all this, but I think the road that I went on between doing dialysis at Home Dialysis of America and doing it at home really, I think, changed my attitude on how to deal with this, and gave me the opportunity to have a normal life and be able to be with my kids and do everything that I wanted to do. And I know in center, I wouldn't have had that flexibility at all. So really, it was a tough road when I got sick. My husband took over a lot of the duties that, in the household and picking up slack with the kids. But I think the biggest thing was, I was just so sick for a long time, and the dialysis allowed me to, get back up and be able to be part of their lives and not miss all the things that I had missed. And, not being in center allowed me to have those days and times back where, I wasn't missing everything, either being in the hospital or being in an in-center facility. At Home Dialysis of America are truly my family. They have, from the moment that I stepped foot in there, between the training and between the patients and between all the staff, truly they have made me feel like part of their family, and they're certainly part of my family. John and I have known each other for a couple of years, and he has always been there for me no matter what I needed. And it was difficult. I know both times that I had the transplant and they both failed, and he's my biggest cheerleader and was there in my corner saying, "That's so fantastic, you've gotten a transplant, I love you, I hope I never see you on this end of dialysis again." And then when it didn't turn out and I had to go back to it, like, it wasn't even a question. John was exactly where I was going to go to. He was very helpful, warm, welcoming, but also made the procedure, it wasn't painful. Every time I had to go back from a failed transplant, it wasn't, as much as I was going through emotionally, I didn't have to relearn everything. I mean, they just picked me up and picked me right up and brought me right back in. So it was really It was very welcoming. It was very comfortable. It was very safe. It was very reassuring. And I have talked to many patients who have not done dialysis or who are in center, and I recommend that this is the way to go. The in center is so impersonable. You're not able to create that bond with somebody. And I think when you are going through something like this as a patient, you need to know that the people that are with you are people that you can trust. And this is no greater. I mean, this relationship is so strong. I know that if I ended up having a third transplant and I never had to go on dialysis again, I know that these people would always be part of my family. And I know I could call any single one of them up and they would drop everything to do anything for me, and where I would do for them. So they have been not only professionally amazing, they have truly been part of my family. And I could not have endured everything that I have without them. I know Dialysis America has given me my life back and given me the opportunity to have those moments back in my life and be able to do all the things that I couldn't do before that I can do now. And I have spoken with people in John's in Home Dialysis of America who are on hemo, and people that have come from in center that would come in, and I would sit and tell them that this would be the best decision you could make. You will get your life